All right. Does anybody else need sheets? Justinovich. Perfect timing. Bididam bum 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 bum. Bididam bum 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 bum. Bididam bum 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 bum. Bididam bum bum. I ram bum 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 bum. Bididam bum 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 bum. I ram bum 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 bum. Bididam bum bum bum. Hey I. Bam 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 bam. Ay 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 ay. Chaim. Wishful thinking of it, here, Jerry. Right. I have a good friend, Shavua Tov, Boker Tov. I have a very close friend that calls me every year, the week of Purim, with a similar question. And he asks me, where are you doing the avoda this year? Meaning, his question really is, what are your plans for Purim Suda? The way he orchestrates that question really puts things into perspective. It's an avoda. Just like Yom Kippur, there's the avodah the Kohen Gadol. The Purim Seuda is not like, it's not just a fun thing. It is also a fun thing, but it's an avodah. There's something that needs to get done. There's like something literally that needs to get done during the Seuda. Last week on Monday night, the Monday night shir, I think I sent it out, I'm not sure. It was titled something Heilig, drinking. Drinking, becoming heilig, I think. So we did a whole piece from the Sachat Shover, actually. It's based on the Sachat Shover. Reb Shlomo teaching, the Shem Yishmul, of explaining how the 4 mitzvahs of the day, Mikra Megillah, Matanas Lavionim Shalach Manas, ending off with the Seuda, is a real Seder Avodah. And it was a beautiful learning what we did. But today, to taste the sweetness of what needs to get done during the Seuda, we go to who's been for us a source of so much holiness, sweetness, and passion. That's Reb Ya'akov Meir Shechter. Hashem should give him long days and good briut. He just finished Shloshim, I think, for his sister. So Reb Ya'akov Meir, those of you, I think nearly everyone here has been by him. And learning his Torah was the beginning of our really getting together. Okay. If you would have said any other answer, I would have given you that. But if you're busy serving Am Yisrael in the army, you're right there. You're mamish up there.
We were all there because of him.
Yeah. So, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to see something from Reb Ya'akov Meir right now. And this week, all the learning we're doing, it's really Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning after, I don't know who's going to go, but Eitan's bris is in Elazar. Wednesday, it's going to be Wednesday morning. I thought it was Purim morning for some reason. I checked with him, it's Wednesday morning. So he's doing that at 9:30. So our learning today, tomorrow, maybe even also the Tanya Shem this week will also be Purim, just to get in as much as we can, because it's a real avoda. So we're going to be doing a lot of Purim this week. So please open up to the first page of 4, And please try holding on to these pages. Yeshua, do you need? Suda he'll be doing by right after Mikra Megillah. At night. Make a Suda into it, yeah. I've been to fasts, I've been to Brisson on fast days that they do it mamish by Shkia. So that they go right into it. This he's doing it at 9:30. I guess because who's going to come right before Mikra Megillah of Purim to... It would be, yeah. Yeah. What we have in front of us, this is a middle of a mimer. Okay, this is a middle of a piece. And once again, I want to give credit where credit's due. It's Jerry that turned me on to the Torah of Reb Ya'akov Meir Shechter a long time ago. And mamish, it's changed our lives forever. Reb Ya'akov Meir's Svarim are Svarim that you open up any of them, especially the one that you just mentioned. What's it titled? Emunah and Tefillah. You open up anywhere, and you just get an instant injection of itchaskut. So this is the middle of a long ma'amar on Purim, but I saw a beautiful piece here that I wanted to focus on. Mechiyat Amalek al yidei mitzvat hayom. Okay, so what is the avodah? If I had to ask you, what's the avodah of Purim? What would you say? Don't say getting drunk. What's the avodah of Purim? Tefillah is an avodah. Ad lo yada is an avodah. It's an avodah to get there. What stands in the way of Ad lo yada? Amalek. Amalek stands in the way of a Jew to reach the place of Ad lo yada, because Amalek always tells you that in order to get your tactics right regarding waging war against enemies, it's only here. You have to always be in a strategic point coming from here. So Amalek says to you, you always have to be on. You always have to have this working all day long and all night long. And Amalek stands in the way of Ad lo yada. We're going to see how that works. Look. V'hine ala pasuk. Milchama la'Hashem ba'Amalek midor dor. Eli, you mentioned it also. I mean, everyone spoke about this on Shabbos in a certain way. But Rabbi Chill also mentioned it on Shabbos. Regarding this pasuk from Beshalach that says that the war that Hashem has with Amalek is every generation. Midor dor. Amru Chazal, what do Chazal say on this? Midoro shel Moshe ad doro shel Shmuel. From the generation of Moshe till the generation of Shmuel. Midoro shel Shmuel ve'ad doro shel Mordechai ve'Esther. Midoro shel Mordechai ve'Esther ad doro shel Melech HaMashiach. That's a pretty long chunk of people. You know, the first two is like, okay, so from the door of Moshe to Shmuel, Pseder, from Shmuel to Mordechai and Esther, how many years have passed? Also not insane. Still something we could kind of like, measure. But then Midor Dor also means, Rashi says, it also means that from the time of Mordechai and Esther till Mashiach comes, there's this chunk of work towards Amalek. It's so true. So now look what he brings here. Ubir harav hakodesh hamagid mikozhnitz tzchus yagen aleinu. Does anyone here remember the last time we learned or heard anything in the name of the Magid of Koznitz? Yeah. When we went to the Piasetzna in Ramat Beit Shemesh, and we asked him to tell us about the Ish Kodesh, he spoke for 45 minutes about the Magid of Koznitz, who was the father of the Piasetzna dynasty going back, years and years before. So he says like this. What does it mean from the generation of Moshe? There's a war against Amalek. Klomar. By the merit through which that we did this mitzvah of wiping out Amalek in Moshe Rabbeinu's generation, zachu lehachna'at Amalek bedoro shel Shmuel, that we merited later on in the door of Shmuel to conquer Amalek. Now, did we conquer Amalek in the door of Shmuel?
It's a big flip after we didn't.
It's a big flip just on who? No, but who's the Agag, right? Agag, right? But what I think, so I was learning this. I was like, wait a second, is this how it happened? Because it seems that we dafka didn't,
He says submit.
Hachna'a, right? So that was the difference. There was a hachna'a of Amalek mitzad of them being an am. Agag as a yechidi was left out of misguided compassion. The word that was used for saving Agag is, we say, b'chemlato chamal al Agag. It was misguided compassion, not mercy, misguided compassion that sometimes keeps Amalek alive. Yeah.
Well, it was in the Haftorah. Wasn't he killed in the end?
Yeah, but the king, the mitzvah is on the king. That's another Torah we're going to do later in the week. The mitzvah is on the king to be the one it's the three mitzvahs that when we come into Eretz Yisrael, right? What are we supposed to do? What are the three mitzvahs? Do anyone know? It's in Parshat Shoftim. What's that? Right, but what else? What's one of the important mitzvot over there? Som tasim alecha melech, malchut. So Chazal darshan that it's really the melech. Once the melech is appointed, he is the one that needs to wipe out Amalek. He's in charge of it. So over there, if the king decides to not do something, it's as if the whole Am is learning from the king what maybe not to do. It comes Shmuel, then he saves the day. But really, the fact that he wasn't killed right away by Shaul was already kind of like a stamp of not so good.
And that's why the Midrash says afterwards that Agag was able to have a child, offspring, in that time period where he didn't have it then, and then Haman came from that.
It would have been the end of the whole story if he killed him.
So exactly. So Nachon, Jeremy's right. So he was killed. It was too late. That's why it says it's Zecher Amalek. The mitzvah is any remnant, not just the person or the head or the leader. It's any remnant of them. So, but Yeshua, you said you did the diuk about Nachna'a mul Nitzachon, right? There was a defeat of some sort. There was a Hachna'a. Like Nichna means I fought it, like I surrender, right? Surrendering. So he says over here, because of the mitzvah, because the way we did it in the time of Moshe Rabbeinu, we were merited for it to happen in the time of Shmuel. ובכוח של המצוות של זכירת מעשה עמלק שקיימו מדורו של שמואל עד דורו של מרדכי ואסתר, and in the merit of the mitzvahs of remembering what Amalek did to us, the way we became the mitzvah from the door of Shmuel until the door of Mordechai and Esther, זכו להכנעת עמלק בימי מרדכי ואסתר. He's saying, it's not just that Am Yisrael in the time of Shushan Abirah had a little bit of a, feeling like I want to become holy and we'll take care of this mitzvah now. It's that years and years of Yidden getting together in shul and saying Parshat Amalek, right? Parshat Zachor. That's what eventually gives weight and gives a build-up so that when it's in front of you, you wipe it out. Just like Reb Nosson Breslover teaches us about standing on the shoulders of giants. It's not that none of them were able to bring Mashiach, so we must be much bigger than everyone in the previous generations. No, it's that they have provided us with firm and solid shoulders upon which to stand on, so that eventually when Mashiach will come and it'll be B'ezrat Hashem in our times, we'll realize we were just standing on the giant's shoulders the whole time. That's how he's looking at as well as the paradigm of how it worked out in every generation to have a Mechia of Amalek in every generation. Okay. ואז זכו להארה ועצומה של קימו וקיבלו. And then obviously we all know that we merited this incredible enlightenment of the re-receiving of the Kabbalah Satorah in the time of Mordechai and Esther שקיבלו את תורה באהבה. והוסיפו לנו מצוות היום של Purim, and they added onto us the mitzvahs hayom of Purim. You have to realize that whenever a mitzvah is added for Am Yisrael, that's a huge simcha. 4 mitzvahs of the day were added on to the kiyum of Am Yisrael as a result of Purim. For the real emes dika Chasidim, that alone is enough to get drunk on. That there are 4 more channels through which I can kiviyachol touch Hashem through, that came about as a result of the story of Purim. That's huge. That's the real chagigah of Torah Shabbat Peh. That's a real celebration. Then I realized, how many of the mitzvahs do I use gam kacha? Here we're saying there's 4 mitzvahs that are a result, that were born out of the day of Purim. That's huge. 4, again, mitzvah comes from the word tzavta, together. There are 4 more opportunities of being together with Hashem. Someone asked me last night, I was doing this concert somewhere, and someone asked to please give over tires for people that are in AA, how to really have Purim, how to mamish have Purim. And I said a few things, but this inyan, like, you could really, really get drunk off of. Like, if you stop and just want to really meditate on the concept of a mitzvah, something that's mechaber oti to God. Every time I have an opportunity to connect myself through something to the will of God, what a simcha it is, and boom, you get 4 big ones on one day. Way after the Torah was kiviyachol given on Har Sinai, meaning way after the Torah was given on Har Sinai, there's 4 new ways to connect to Hashem. That could be a gewaltlik, what did we call that? The sober trippers. For the sober trippers. You're all looking at me like, is he going to tell us now not to drink on Purim? Is he going to push this trip now to just have a sober Purim? No way. והוסיפו לנו מצוות היום של פורים אשר יש כוח בעצם מצוות היום של פורים. He's saying, what happens? Suddenly there's a new koach in the world that's within us to wipe out Amalek through what? 4 new mitzvot that were given to us. למחות עמלק בכלל ובפרט ותיקון כל העולמות. So that's one thing I wanted to make sure we understand this. The 4 mitzvahs of the day are not just things you have to be yotzei dei chova. Oh, what am I supposed to do? 2 different brachas, shalach manis, and how much did I give matanas le'avyonim? Did I hear every word in the Megillah? Was I mekayim the mitzvah v'seuda? You have to do all of them kehil chasam. You have to do them right. But you have to understand that what it opens up for us is that if it's done through a simcha of a mitzvah, which hopefully that's really what the day is all about, there's newfound simcha of a mitzvah in the world that buries Amalek much deeper than anything else that we could think of. Simcha of mitzvah. Doing mitzvahs b'simcha. Ki yemei hapurim hakadoshim hem yemei krav ba'amalek. We've been talking about being warriors, battlefield. This is serious warrior time. There's a battlefield, and it's us and Amalek during the days of Purim. Biram hamilchama azot mitoch simcha. But really, the weird thing about this warrior is that you want to be a real warrior. Usually, what's the face of, like, when you want to get someone into warrior mode? I just have Rocky 4 and what are they? Eva Drago, that kind of, like, that's what. But really, can you imagine if like Sly was on that mountain in Russia and he was like,
Misha?
right, right, yeah. But that's what this is. That's what this is. Now, it's a hard thing to switch in your mind that, like, I always say, like, imagine guys going to recruit for yeshiva. It's a new yeshiva. It's called, like, Yeshiva Simchat HaMitzvot. It's a new yeshiva that they're trying to open up for a 1-year program here in Israel. Because when I was in the States this last trip, a lot of the representatives from different 1-year programs were visiting the different schools and shuls. We're out in Florida. So I was thinking, like, imagine if one guy wanted to, like, he had an idea, like, he wants to open up a yeshiva that focuses on making sure that we realize the importance of doing mitzvahs b'simcha. It was called Yeshivat Simchat HaMitzvot. And he comes in to sell his thing, right? And it's just about the same. What's the tuition now?
$25,000.
Really? Wow. Jerry, where's Moshe going next year?
How much it is where kids
It's fine. So imagine a guy comes up and he shows, like, this is my brochure, and he sees, like, Rabbeim just like, like this on the flyers, right? And, like, the guy's sitting and he's like, hey, would you like to come to our yeshiva? Who would take that guy seriously? Would you spend all that money in a guy that's smiling all the time like that?
the kids or the parents?
The parents. The kid is dying for it. No, of course. But he's saying over here, it is warrior zone, but there's a shift in warrior mentality. Because even when we're learning Piasetzner, we were talking about a heavy stuff. So it wasn't exactly like we're talking, and Reb Klonimus Kalnish is telling us to just come together and be a warrior. There wasn't the vibe, wasn't the tone. Maybe we were learning it wrong. I don't know. But the point over here is that he's saying it's a battlefield. However, the war is a shmeichel. You know what a shmeichel is? The war is a smile.
A PSS, one of the common themes that runs through all of his teachings is the power of positivity. It's not saying simple out loud, but that's what that is.
Huge difference, though, between the manifestation of positivity during the year and the positivity of Purim. Purim is not even about positivity. It's something. It's more than just the realm of positive versus negative feeling. It's ad lo yada. Positive thinking. I gotta, in here I gotta get positive. So it's a tactic here that we really have to tune into if we want to win this war. Second line on the bottom. Klei haneshek him simchas Purim and mitzvahs hayom. The weapons for this war is the simcha of Purim and the mitzvahs of the day. Kriyas HaMegillah, Amiras HaLanisim, Mishloach Manos Ish L'Re'el, Matanos L'Avyonim, which, by the way, just want to make everyone knows I'm collecting and will be dispersed bo bayom, whoever needs to give Matanos L'Avyonim. Seudas Purim, Harikudim, the dancing, V'Hale B'Sumi B'Puria, and the drinking of Purim. Kol Eilehem Klei Krav Mo'idim Beyoter B'Melchemet Amalek. All these are the most, how do you say Kli Krav Mo'il? Yeah, most effective weaponry, huh?
Yeah.
That you have and the thing of Purim. Now, we'll just start this because I really, really wanted to get here to something very important. Achen, kol avodot hayom hakadosh hazeh romzot la'avodot gdolot shebamikdash. Really? All the mitzvahs we mentioned and the work that needs to be done on the day of Purim all allude to avodot that took place in the Beis HaMikdash. Now, like Eli pointed out on Shabbos, there are so many different ways of choosing to look through the Megillah and see it through a certain lens. This is the story of a family. This is the story of the redemption. One of the ways is really seeing this is the story of taking back the Beit HaMikdash. Mamash, and rebuilding the Beit HaMikdash. And what's the first reference to it, obviously? The kilim shonim, that when it should do something to you, and I know it does. That when we're sitting down reading Megillah, and then it goes into it, it changes into that Eicha tune also over there for a few seconds. Kilim shonim, right? What happens to you when you're reading the story of the Megillah and you hear about, let's just say what it was? It was a massive orgy. That's what was going on over there. And during this massive Shem Yirachem, for even saying such a word, they're drinking out of cups that were used in the Beis HaMikdash. So Reb Ya'akov Meir is pointing out, saying, "Listen, you're going into the Beis HaMikdash. You're going into the core. The avoda of the day of Purim is not just like who had it became who had the funniest costume. And yes, you do remember the guy that somehow him and his wife looked exactly like Mork and Mindy. That's what you do remember that. Like when you look back at Purim's, whatever. That's just on the outside. That's just on the inside. Something crazy is coming. I once had a musician come to visit us or stay by us 1 year Purim many years ago. And he's a musician that should be nervous a lot about law enforcement and stuff like that. So he was staying. It was in our place in Koresh. We lived in the Dekel, and he was in our garden. Those of you that I don't know if anyone was there. He was in the garden there. I think you came there down there once or twice.
Sure.
And Menachem and Ruth were dressed up as cops, giving out donuts and tickets. But
Paranoid.
right, so he saw two cops coming down the stairs, right? And he freaked out and he ran. He closed himself in the house. Now, obviously, like when I look back at Purim, that's what it's become. Oh my God, do you remember when that guy looked like that and that happened? But on a panini level, it's like, oh my God, do you remember when that guy You could have sworn that when he was crying at the Seudah, his tears were going to put the Beis HaMikdash mamish right now down from Shamayim?
I want to make sure I heard this potentially, which is that Seudah, that crazy party they were having, using the kelim of the Beis HaMikdash, like the Nekuda Tova. Is he saying like there's some holiness to that? Is that what he's saying? That like even in their craziness, they were doing some Beis HaMikdash work.
Not at all. No.
All right, so
I mean,
that's all I heard.
Yeah, no.
The Tova, that's really impressive. Wow. During this orgy, they're drinking from the kelim of the Beis HaMikdash. They want to try and make it holy. It was a little bit warped. But there's,
He already said
there's like
he let it go.
No, it actually alluded to, honestly, it alluded to utmost hastara. It alluded to the height of hiddenness in the world. It alluded to, like, even imagine like a Yidla coming to that Seudah because of peer pressure, right? He comes to that Seudah and he sees like, oh my God, we went to Cheder together. What in the world is he doing over there? And then, oh my God, and what are they doing over here? What are they doing over here? So it alluded to even the Yidla that was holding on to something. He saw that with Kelim of the Beis HaMikdash, and it alluded to utmost what? Kind of like we feel after 2,000 years of coming back and from Galus, and we see that the Waqf are taking mamish what they're doing to, with the digging that they are doing on their side, throwing away tons of stuff from the times of the Beis HaMikdash. Almost like, how can this be? How could this state of hastara be? So when you have kelim from the Beis HaMikdash, it's such a seudah, Hashem yirachim on us. So it alluded to the great hastara, and like he says over here, you know what? And pause here. We're going to start again from this thing tomorrow. Achen kol avodot hayom. And we're going to see how really, because there was such a revelation of a hastara, that is the closest it's going to be to right now, where there's such hiddenness, and suddenly there's going to be a Beis HaMikdash. That's why the avoda of Purim is very much a preparation for what we daven for all the time. All right. If you don't want to hold on to these papers, please keep them here in the corner. But if you want to, please do, and bring them back. Yeshar Koach.